In today's video, I wanted to talk about something that's in the headlines today, and that has to do with COVID vaccines and their use in children. So, what happened today was there was a FDA memo that had been released talking about no less than 10 COVID vaccine related deaths in children. And I want to say that this is something that I think is very irregular in the sense that in order to make such a claim, you really need to present a lot of evidence to show that this is not just some kind of correlation, because what they're using is a database called VAERS. And VAERS is a database that anybody can enter anything. And it's just meant to be a catch-all to pick up signals if there are real signals, and most of those are not real signals. But they're using that database, but then not presenting the actual evidence of who these purported deaths are. What was their history? What was their prior medical conditions? What types of studies were done to determine that the vaccine was a causal factor rather than just something correlated, meaning that they got the vaccine and they died, and they might have died from some other disease that they might have had. That's going to be really important. And what I think is going to happen, though, is that people are going to read that headline, and those individuals who are already thinking that COVID vaccines are dangerous are just going to be reinforced by it, and it's going to increase vaccine hesitancy and further politicize this whole issue with vaccines that's been politicized from the very beginning. Now, it is true that every vaccine has side effects, and sometimes those side effects can be severe, but on balance, COVID vaccines do not pose an untoward risk. Even when you think about risks like myocarditis, that was a very manageable risk that occurred not in small children, but in late adolescent males, young adults, and could be avoided by spacing the vaccine doses. And it's really a moot point at this point. But that wasn't what was leading to the deaths. At least there's no data that shows that. Yet, what's happening now is that the government under RFK Jr. has really made the entire vaccine ecosystem into a hostile place, and they are using every technique that they can in order to try and shatter people's confidence in the vaccines. But more importantly, what they're doing is making investors allergic to even developing vaccines, because if a pharmaceutical company could develop a new cancer drug or a new vaccine, they'd rather do the cancer drug to avoid all of this. So this is really a bad day for the entire vaccine infrastructure in the United States.